Hello and welcome to Pushing Cardboard. I'm Grant Linneberg, and today we're going to do an unboxing of Old Breed South Pacific from the Band of Brothers series. This is designed by Dean Hawley and Jim Cron and published by Worthington. This is a series I sort of have a love-hate relationship with. I sort of like how it works, but I've never really liked the rule books or some of the illustration, font design, and stuff like that. But still, I like the series enough to continue on with it as they moved into the South Pacific. So this is a, a fairly heavy box, a big 2-inch box. It feels like stuffed to the limit. So well, let's find out just why. It's even lifting a tiny bit here, even in the shrink wrap. So. Pretty good looking cover. Scenario book up first. So we have a couple of training scenarios, and I really like the way they do the scenario layouts here with a full page per scenario. That's terrific. That's the way to do it. Or both pages. That's equally good. Okay, so we have a couple of training scenarios, and then it really starts on scenario 49 and goes all the way up to 68. So like 20 scenarios, I guess, or 21 with the training stuff. So good looking scenario book. That's no problem there. An updated rule book. Now this is version 2.2, and this looks to be the Band of Brothers rule book rather than a specific rule book for Old Breed South Pacific. So I'll be able to take this rule book, I'm sure, and bring it back to use on my original Band of Brothers packages. Again, a glossy rule book, which isn't my favorite, but this is not too bad. It looks good. It's on a white background. That's definitely my favorite. In case you have to write in notes or errata, scratch out things or add in errata that you find on the web over time. So I always prefer a white background in rule books. But this is good. 2 columns is always better than just big fat than a big fat page with 1 column. Plenty of color and not a ton of illustrations, but here we got a example of play at the end, which is helpful, and a bit of a glossary and index, so that helps as well. That's not a bad looking rule book. So up next, it looks like we have the first of the boards, and these are double-sided as well. So this is board, nice little bay there for a beach landing, eh? 29 and 30. Bit of a hill, jungle hill. Just jungle with a small hill. See if we can, how close I can get, and so you can see a bit of the detail. That looks quite good. Another hill, it would seem. Tiny village. Hill beside a river. Oh, and big multi-level hill. Well, that looks like that's it for boards. Here come the counters. Now, one great thing about this system is they have those nice big 1-inch pre-rounded counters. Yeah, I've never liked the font choice they use on here. It's not the end of the world, but it's not terrific, and also I don't really care for how the white lettering doesn't really stand out enough at the bottom from the image for me. I wish it was a little bit more distinct, but that's the way she goes. Here's the back side. Here's some American, what do we got? A few vehicles, some machine gun crews, and then we have some Japanese units. More Japanese units. A few markers for foxholes and things like that. Foxholes, bunkers, caves. That's going to be important in Pacific scenarios. And then system markers. Not too many. There's a few different ones, but one good thing about Band of Brothers is they try to keep the amount of markers used down a bit. So that's a nice thing about the system as well. Then we have a couple of player aid cards, version 2.2 to go with the 2.2 rules. Train effects, and then there's no, in this game you don't need there's no combat results table as far as I remember, so this is just more like how to do it rather than any kind of a table you roll on. And then they provide you with a nice deep counter tray. That's a fairly deep counter tray. Who knows if it's enough to pack all this away, but I guess I'll soon find out. But that's it. That's everything that comes in the box for Old Breed South Pacific, Band of Brothers from Worthington Games. Pretty good looking package. It's it's just doesn't all quite fit in the box. There's a little bit of a lift lid there, but still good for them. Well, thanks for having a look. I'm Grant Lindenberg, and please check out the website at pushingcardboard.com and check out our podcast. Pushing Cardboard is on Apple Music or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks again.